Got it. So we're being recorded, right?
We're being recorded.
Cool. All right, it's official. So, just kidding. All right, topic. Boop. Because all of this research I've done for the topic is right in front of me. And with our ever-growing social media presence,
I know.
I mean, it's off the charts. I mean, it's completely off the charts. All count them 18. 18. And it's blown, we are blowing up. So, but based on that first post, we're talking about what the topic is going to be. And the topic is it cool for a dude or a dad to love Disney more than his kids? Yeah. Is that even possible? Is that even, and you got to look at it from different angles, you know?
Yes.
And we're not looking at men that still, you know, connect Xbox Live in their latter, early, or mid 30s, 40s, and still live in their parents' basement.
Yeah.
So is it appropriate? And also I thought about it, what about somebody that doesn't get it? But at the same time, what does it mean to get it? What does that mean to you? And I'll, you know,
You
like
go
what is it like? Okay. To me, 100%. Because we've been there, done that. Okay. I remember my first experience, memory, a long time ago, obviously, back in the I can say 1990s. I didn't hit it in the 80s. I got it in the early 90s. That's what she said. But I know it was 1980, would have been 1989. Actually, yeah, 1980s, like right at shoehorned it in right at the end of the 80s, because you can relate with that, right? Good. Don't answer that. But yeah. But as a kid, it was hard to fathom everything, and of course, everything scale-wise was skewed, you know. And I went when I was in 3rd grade with my parents, with my brother, and then went again on a class trip in 5th grade. Okay, we did a whole week at Disney, and things were a little bit different, but I was preoccupied with girls, got to start middle school, stressing over if I needed to buy my girlfriend a plush Mickey or Minnie, and I had a good time, but my obviously my priorities were, you know, where they should have been, you know, age-wise,
right? Which
is, you know, pretty baller of me. Pardon. See the new mug? Awesome. Yep. This is going swimmingly, by the way. No, and I did not return to Disney until I would have been 11, 10, 11, give or take, 5th, 6th grade, whatever. I didn't go back until I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Father had a conference at the Contemporary. We stayed at the Polynesian, like we did in the late 80s. And the Polynesian back in the 80s and 90s was amazing. I hadn't been back since, and I've seen videos and pictures of renovations, and honestly, it kind of looks the same, you know, but like I said, the memories were what they say now, core memories. I'm trying to get in with the lingo now.
Right.
But just so vivid that obviously you can just think back and go, wow, yeah, I know exactly what I was doing. Almost not exactly like an eidetic type of memory where you have like, I know this memory, or I have know these specific details of what I did. But I remember at 18, even then my perspective was the only thing I want to do is that I'm 18. I'm old enough to get on Pleasure Island, which is now Disney Springs.
Right.
And so I remember that vividly as well. Get my ID check, walk around Pleasure Island and realizing, oh, I'm by myself. My parents let me stay out till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, even though I'm just graduating from high school, about to go to college. And I'm not old enough to buy booze. Okay. and I think I was still acquiring a taste for beer at that point. I would have been the kid that says the beer's gone bad after one sip.
When was this?
This would have been 1999.
1999.
So this would have been June of 1999.
Okay.
And
I was just finishing up 3rd grade.
That's good. So we can edit this part of the recording, and then, or there's some kind of like little bleep you can put over your mouth.
Yeah.
And just say, "Wow, Abbott, you're awesome. That's so cool what you just said." Dub it over in that sense. We can have like what's it called? A cough button.
Yeah.
Cough. That'd be cool. No, I didn't. 18, but I remember as an adult, well, not young adult at that point. I went around Magic Kingdom by myself. I insisted on kind of taking it in. I wanted to compare it. And back then I even had somewhat of a perspective of comparing it to when I was a child, and it was amazing. I loved it, and this is before they expanded Fantasyland to what it is now. They still had 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
All that stuff. All the old school stuff behind Cinderella's Castle, kind of to the left, if it's to your back, straight to the left.
Where the Beauty and the Beast
Beauty and the Beast be our guest restaurant. What's her name? Not Rigatoni. That's not her name. Rapunzel.
Oh, Rapunzel stuff, yeah.
Rapunzel. Yeah, that area.
Yeah.
But we didn't go back until when I was 18. So we're going on like, oh God, 20 years, give or take, my friend. And we went back because Emily had a medical conference she was presenting at last year of residency. We went in 2018. And that's when it absolutely clicked for me. Yeah. And also having all 3 kids, and granted Mason, my youngest son at the time, he was just turned 2. Parker had just turned 4, right. And Brett was about to turn 9, so young. But watching it through their eyes and taking it all in, Parker and Mason, of course, had no memory. Mason couldn't vocally articulate, and Parker, she could articulate certain things, but when we decided to go back last year in November, it was like a whole new experience for her.
Yeah.
Sorry, chronologically, I did go back when Bray was 3.
Okay.
I went for 2 days, did Magic Kingdom Epcot as an adult, and that's when I got the true experience. When I was, I would have been 30. Bray was 3. I would have been 31.
Gotcha.
I went back to 31 from 18 to 31. Then I went again at 2018 at 38.
Gotcha.
No, 36. I take it back. Sorry, because math is definitely something I can do. 1 + 1 is 4. So
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Staying school kids.
You got that. You got that Disney math down. So.
Oof, wow. It's a little skewed when you're drinking coffee this late.
Exactly. Yeah. So to give everybody a little insight, I'm Taylor Myers. This is Abbott Staggs. We are the Disney Dudes podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And a little background on us. We have been friends for how many years?
Too long.
Yeah.
Don't rely on me to do the math currently.
Yeah. Be friends for like 30 years, and I'm just turning 31. So yeah. No. So we've been friends. Our wives were in residency together down in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I took care of Abbott when I was in chiropractic school.
Mm-hmm.
So not breaking HIPAA. You can attest to that as well.
Oh yeah.
But we have fallen in love with Disney. I've always been a fan of Disney, and Abbott has recently, as you just said, fallen more madly in love with Disney.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So
doing everything I can to get back.
Exactly. So my thing was I started going to Disney when I was, give or take, probably 2 or 3. And I didn't know what the heck it was, but we go, fortunately enough, my family, we would go at least once every year, or once every other year.
Yeah.
We'd stay at not Art Animation, but Pop Century.
Yep.
What's the All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, All-Star Sports.
Oh,
wow. Port Orleans. And my family has now, we've just in this past year, or past year and a half, we are now Disney Vacation Club members at the Riviera.
Okay.
That's our home resort. So I can give you some insight on that.
Cause you,
Um,
cause you passed the Riviera on the Skyliner,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now is it, you have to remind me, is it a stop at the Riviera to go towards Epcot? No. Is it a stop? Do you stop at the Riviera or do you pass over the Riviera? I think you pass over it.
Pass over the Riviera.
You do.
Yeah, you pass over the Riviera.
Yep.
But yeah, so grew up going to Disney. I was fortunate enough to send Michael Eisner back in the day. I think I was like 8 or 9. So 1999, sent Michael Eisner a letter asking if I could be a grand marshal in the parade one time.
Oh,
And
wow.
sure enough,
Yep.
I got a response back, and it was like, yeah. So it was in the Easter parade.
Okay.
I was grand marshal.
Was it at Magic Kingdom? Assuming.
Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
So I got behind the scenes a little bit with that. However, I became sick with the flu. And so I had the flu while I was the grand marshal. So I went to the park just to be grand marshal, and I went right back to the hotel on property, and yeah, got better there. But as Abbott said, he's got 3 kids. I've got 1 little girl, and seeing it through their eyes, we took our little girl to Disney the first time in January of this past year. And the first couple of days, I felt like I looked over and I saw some very similar actions and attitudes towards Disney and everything, from the 3 and 4-year-olds throwing temper tantrums. That's what I was doing because we didn't get to ride some rides. But I found out through my wife, my mom, my mother-in-law, it's all about the perception of seeing it through their eyes.
Yep.
And by day 3, my little girl was looking at the characters, recognizing them, and she went down loving Mickey Mouse, and she came back loving Goofy and Donald Duck more than Mickey and Minnie. So she's a Goofy and Donald fan, which I can't fault her for that. But we are going back. Abbott just got back from running
3 weeks.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
And I'm going back in September, the end of September, coming back the first day of October. So yeah, but yeah, I fall in love with Disney. Love Disney ever since I was a little kid, and trying to raise my little girl to follow in the same footsteps.
I mean, where else what other location can you go to and walk around wearing something like this?
Exactly. Or
and be looked at like a rock star. I saw these in Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
On April 3rd. And I had at least 2 or 3 people come up to me and ask, where did you get those?
Yeah.
Those are the coolest ears. Now imagine, I live in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I leave my house. I take 2 steps out of my house. I live on somewhat of a busy road, and somebody sees me wearing these. Or if I go to the mall, my local mall, somebody sees me wearing these, what's going to happen? I'm going to have to.
You really want me to tell you?
Please, give me break it down for me.
They're going to say, where did you get Wonder Woman's foilies?
That, and have you heard of this person named Megan? She has a specific law, and you may need to sign this form. You will stay 100 feet away from this said school. And I would have to, whatever. So that's a whole rabbit hole I could go down. And just to kind of give a little background information on me compared to Taylor, I am a person that has a tendency to circle the wagons. It's called ADHD, and it is not kind to me. But I can stay focused. I can somewhat make a point of what I'm trying to say, but I get so kind of excited about what I'm talking about that everything good there, Butterfingers? You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But I have a tendency to kind of go, hey, so -1 to letter A, letter F to -4,000. Makes sense, right? I'm you're the cue the music person. I'm the person giving the acceptance speech.
Yeah.
So, at the Oscars. Or
Yes. And so I will also go ahead and say, I want to apologize for the first podcast, but this is our first podcast ever. So we might be going off on tangents, but
you got to
it
work
will
out the
get
kinks.
better.
It will get much better.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
cheers. No, what you were talking about the perspective, and I did have a point, but I mean, just talking about, I mean, I could go on and on. Like a whole podcast could be about. I can go back. I guarantee it would. I could wrap up my first visit to Disney. Now, I have not been to Disney as often as you, which I mean, man, that to me, I wish that is something I would have taken more advantage of. But at the same time, honestly, it's, regardless of how many times you've been as a child perspective, it all kind of comes full circle when you are an adult, you're grown, you have that perspective,
Yeah.
and you have children.
Yep.
Okay. And being the perspective of a parent, and actually not just having that reflection on your own, but sharing that with, your significant other, sharing that with your wife, with your husband, with your whatever. And don't worry, we're both married to women, so that's something we could censor too, based on who's listening. But whatever. Hashtag equality, equity. Hey, first episode. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'll have to take certain measurements ahead of time to reel myself back in. But no, perspective as an adult, to kind of keep it context specific. I went from when I was 18. The next time that I went to Disney was when I was 31. And my oldest son, who turns 13, he'll be a teenager a week from today, which I'm still wrapping my mind around. Yep, teenager. Oh, yeah. Yes. We had a conversation earlier. It's not fun about, becoming changes. Okay. So, episode 2, let's talk about teenagers. No.
Yeah.
No, but for me was we took my mom and we went for a long weekend, and we did the whole is what I called at the time Disney Groupon edition. Okay, so when your budget, you have a single income, your significant other is in postgraduate school or medical school, and you try to you want to go on vacations, and this is the one is going to be the one and only for years, for many, 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 many years to come. So I had the opportunity to go to Magic Kingdom with my son. He loved it. He was 3, and then we went to Epcot. And I remembered Epcot as a child, but nothing really ever stood out to me about Epcot. I remember the World Showcase, and what always bored me as a child was like the educational component behind it. Like, here's Morocco and the spices, and here's Norway and the Vikings, and here's Mexico and the Aztecs and blah. And going that route, it just kind of glazed over. It just went over my head, and it basically wasn't of interest to me. Nothing motivating about it. But when being 31, having a child, and watching my son take in the culture, seeing things, new sights, new sounds, new foods, new experiences, new just stimuli through the senses. And then I discovered as an adult drinks around the world. And I also discovered that's not something you do on your own.
No.
It's an absolute team effort. Okay. Yeah. It is an absolute team effort. So in 2012, I was going nuts, thinking I was the coolest thing on 2 feet, listening to Jefferson Starship and the American Experience in that big amphitheater, drunkenly calling friends, saying, "This is the greatest thing ever. Who knew you could buy so much alcohol at, Disney World?
Yeah.
I can't believe I've been drinking and I'm somewhat tipsy at Disney." Sad but true. So lesson learned there. But that is the moment, not drunken moment, but the moment that I knew I have to get back here.
Yeah.
I have to do what it takes to get back here, regardless of civic duty, fatherly duty. Of course, obviously, we were pulled in many different directions professionally, and personally, and we can't help change. And that's just how it is, and we adapt to regardless of the situation. But it's one of those where I've been to Disney more frequently than I have ever in my entire life. So I've been to Disney since 2018. I've been there 3 times.
Yeah.
And to me, that's absolutely unprecedented. And I've been twice in 6 months. And I'll tell you something, when I went for a whole week with my whole family, hence, I got to see the transition from Halloween. We went on Halloween, kids dressed up, looking like they're straight out of the team from A League of Their Own. And I wore the original R2D2 Mickey Mouse ears that I got back in 2012, which was amazing. Update about that, my latest trip, beginning of the month, which was a little disappointing, but whatever. Ears are ears, apparently. But we did the whole art of animation, just fly by the seat of your pants, walk 15 to 20,000 steps a day, dadgum dog tired. We did Magic Kingdom the first day. We shoehorned Universal Studios. We learned that week, even as a family, having at the time 12-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, that it's yes, it is go, go, go. And you do have to prepare your children as much as you can, but nothing prepares your children for that experience.
Yeah.
My children learn very quickly to put up and shut up, because they were hooked with the Disney experience.
Oh yeah.
They were absolutely enamored. I want them to have the childhood that you had. I want them to have the opportunity. We're not going to be able to go every year as a family, because we're talking, if we're looking at a budget or even a moderate hotel, because I just did a moderate hotel for the Disney race. That's another episode, probably episode 3. See, we're planning ahead in episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be it's going to be a single show about me, and my thoughts and feelings, and my personal thoughts and feelings about politics in today's age. So I'm just kidding. That's another terrible.
That's episode 20.
That's B-roll. That's that's B-roll right there. But no, it's before I didn't make Disney. I made a Disney a priority in 2018.
Right.
Now, mentally, I said to myself in 2012 that I want to get back here, but it was a priority. Like, it was something I wanted to do, and it was a motivation, but it wasn't a priority. It became a priority in 2018.
Right.
When I finally got to corral all 3 of my children into Disney at one time. And we didn't go to all the parks. We just did. We didn't have that much time. We did Universal, and that was the first time I ever went to Universal, and that's a whole other situation there. But went to Universal for the first time, and I had been to Animal Kingdom a year after it opened. I think it opened in 2018. I think 1998. What am I thinking?
Yeah, 98. Yeah,
98. I went in 99, a year after it had been opened, and it was very limited then. But anyway, we didn't go to Animal Kingdom, but at the same time, we didn't know. We kind of downplayed Animal Kingdom. We're like, well, it's got one roller coaster. The Avatar ride is new. It's going to take too long to ride, and our kids are too young. So we'll just do Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and go from there. And even Hollywood Studios in 2018 had so much potential, but was just so limited. Toy Story Land opened 2 months later after we were there. The Galaxy's Edge, Batu, was nowhere near being done. It was just under development. Right there at the Pizza Rizzo and
Mama Melrose. And
Mama Melrose right there behind Muppet 3D right there. Muppets 3D. They just had a big sign up for Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like, man. And that's when, and after going back through Epcot and my kids experiencing everything, and my daughter doing this is something you have to do for your daughter, the Bippity Boppity Boutique. I don't know if it's back in full effect now.
It's back.
Is it back?
Yeah. Well, and Wellesley didn't really have hair when we went in January, and also she just turned 1 in December, so she's 16 months now, but she has hair now, and she had her first haircut the other week. So we're hoping that'll be full effect, and she can get her hair done.
The one thing I wish would have done, and I assume there's a difference in price, maybe not. We did the one at Disney Springs, and I know it's going to be the same experience, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
But Magic Kingdom's probably
You
gonna
got to do the one at you have to do the one at Magic Kingdom at Cinderella's Castle. It's right behind Cinderella's Castle right there. But I made it in 2018. I said to my wife, and I don't need her consent to say her name. Her name's Emily, and yeah, Facebook it, look her up, stalk her. Just don't send her in DMs. Too late. Sweet ladies to see what happens here, because all 2 of the people that listen to this are going to be like, Emily, oh, I have to know. I can't wait for next episode to find out her real name. I looked at Emily and I was like, I said, I get it now. It clicks now. Like, it's not just me. Like I'm even thinking like, I just want to go, if I could just do a weekend, I don't even have to go to Disney. I just want to go to Disney Springs. I can hop on a boat and go to Port Orleans, or I can hop on a bus and go to Magic Kingdom and take a boat to Fort Wilderness, the Fort Wilderness Lodge for free, have dinner. I don't have to go to the parks. I can just experience Disney, in different ways, obviously, I would be signing certain papers if I just got up and went, I'm in Orlando, sorry, the kids are late, sorry. That's not gonna happen. What's that?
Put the kids on the bus, and I took off.
That's fine, I don't know, I just got a hankering for some Mickey beignets in the French Quarter. But no, I mean, I'd be in New Orleans, and that's a whole nother story. But no, we made it a priority, and we planned to go back in spring of 2020. And we had it booked to my good friend, Anna Shazaro. She's with Disney Mickey Travels. You good? You're losing it. Keep it. Shout out to her. What you got?
You're good. Yeah, I'm good. I
want to make sure I didn't make a noise. There's a little reverb in here. But no, she's one of the Mickey, she does MickeyTravels.com. She's a good friend from back home. And she set me up with this and that. But of course, we had to cancel our reservation due to COVID. 5 days after we canceled our reservation, they shut down all the parks. Everything shut down. And I don't know how long, what was it, like 3 or 4 months the parks were maybe shut down that whole summer, give or take.
They got rid of a bunch of employees and furloughed
thousands upon thousands of employees. But I told him, I said, yes, COVID, and when things lighten up, we have to make it a priority to go back. And at that point, we were able to save a little more money. We got everybody. We had a whole crew of, 5, 10, 13. We had 15 people. We had a whole crew of 15 people, and we had the absolute ultimate Disney trip. We did Be Our Guest. We did everything. We did Magic Kingdom twice. I mean, every park. And we went back to Animal Kingdom. And I'll tell you something. And this is my children. We did the whole power walk all the way to, and I had never been to, what's it called? Pandora.
Yeah.
I went to Pandora. The smells hit me. It smells
the lavender and everything. Yeah.
Up the lavender. I was like, this is like Mesquite barbecue. Are we in Kansas City? What's happening? It's just that pungent smell. And we did fly the Avatar, and that just blew my mind. That was amazing, right? We rope dropped that one. And I remember leading Fly the Avatar with our crew of 15, and we were booking it over to Dinosaur in the Dino Land area. And as we're walking, I hear this like caw, 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 and I look up and I see a whole group of like blue and rainbow colored macaws and parrots like fly overhead. And I look up, and my children look up, and I had never been in a situation where, I've been to Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and you lose track of reality, because it does kind of put you in a Disney bubble, so to speak. It's an escape.
And that's the best thing about Disney.
Exactly. That is the best thing about Disney, but Animal Kingdom, it put me, I looked, it wasn't just chills. I can compare it to the first time that I saw the Grand Canyon in person. Okay. Like that, like I was like, no, it's a canyon. It's like, and then you walk out and you see it, and it's just, you can't fathom
Yeah.
the, the, just everything that goes into it,
Yeah.
what happened in that moment. And it was fleeting. Every moment that you experience, regardless, is going to be fleeting. But you see these parrots, and everything's contrived, of course, in Disney, which is incredible that they can plan these things. I don't know the schedule. I don't need to know the schedule. I don't want to know the schedule, you know? But these parrots fly overhead, and I felt like I was in a jungle. I felt like I was in a different country. And my children looked up and went, Daddy, you never said there were parrots. My daughter Parker, uh, and I have her consent, don't worry. She's 8, so it's good. She went, she could not talk. She turned around and was just wide-eyed and just went, Daddy, are we still in Disney World?
Right.
What is this? I mean, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Animal Kingdom that day, we only had that one day. It absolutely blew my ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. And my perspective's different. I hadn't been there in over 20 years.
Right.
We're talking 25 years. But at the same time, or give or take, because I'm, like I said, I've already proved I'm excellent with math. And drinking out of a sweet Disney mug I got at Port Orleans River, French Quarter. But it was one of those, it was an absolute core memory that is forever ingrained in me. And it motivates me to put money aside, save money, and say, yeah, when are we going again? When are we going again with the family? And we've already planned when we're going again. I can tell you exactly, not the dates. I can look at a calendar and rope it off, but I can tell you exactly when we plan to go again. I can tell you the next 2 times I'll be in Disney. It's tentative between, it will be next year. It will be next year. Whether it's for another race, because we may sign up for
The retro one.
we want to do the Disney Princess half marathon, and we talked about doing the challenge, the 10K and the half marathon,
Right.
which is doable, because it's a fun run.
Yeah.
It's an absolute fun run. You don't run for time, you run for the experience.
And
And
the
reading
medals.
this, what's that?
T-shirt.
And a T-shirt and a sweet medal. Can't forget the medal.
Yeah.
Medal's epic. I mean, just transcends space and time. I did wear that medal to the office. No, I didn't. I thought about it. And my wife shot it down and said, you're a loser, but you're not that loser. So whatever. But I mean, but my point being, it's an absolute priority to get back.
Yeah.
I can tell you that in the fall, I'm going to be in Cleveland around Thanksgiving for a wedding that Emily's going to be in, one of her good friends. And I'm not looking forward to that. We are taking in a Browns game. Not a fan of seeing Deshaun Watson in person. Great athlete, played for Clemson. Sorry, side note. Hashtag go Cox. But we are looking on June 23rd. I'm going to be first in line. And if we can't do it, that's not a big deal. August, I still have time to sign up for the spring surprise weekend that we just did, right, for next year.
Yeah.
But I want to sign up for the Disney Princess half marathon, run through Cinderella's castle, run my 13.2 miles. It'll be a walk in the park.
Obviously, you're gonna wear your tutu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do have a certain type. I have a certain type of chaps that I like to wear that may or may not.
I don't think you'll be able to get into Disney with those.
Well, it's if you dress up like the village people, you're fine. I'll just be the cowboy. And like be the cop, and we'll just meet up with random people. We'll just plan ahead of time. That's where you and your wife can be the construction worker.
I'll be the Indian. How about that?
Exactly. And you'll be and because Disney is all inclusive, you may get canceled with the picture.
I'm part Native American, so I think.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. You've already part of your heritage. So it's all preservation of the heritage. Yeah. But that being the case, looking to be there next year in February, and then not that fall, but next year, 2020, 2024.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're going on, as I said before, September the 23rd. We're going to start driving, and that's another thing. I like to drive. I know Abbott likes to fly. Emily likes to drive.
I haven't flown since 2017. I flew to Phoenix, and
Yeah.
Emily was nowhere with me. So, but for me, it's only a 7-hour drive.
Yeah, and
To
it's
get-
11 hours for us because we're in Virginia. Obviously,
We're
Abbott's
in
in South
upstate
Carolina.
South Carolina.
Go
Yeah,
Gamecocks.
Gamecock. Go
Um,
Gamecock.
but yeah,
Gamecocks.
we're driving, leaving on the 23rd, spending the night probably in Savannah. That's our route, and then getting there on
Y'all stay
the
cooler?
24th.
Y'all stay
We're
in
staying
cooler when y'all go
24th
down?
through the 1st.
Cool. Okay.
And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. But we have our DVC membership until 2070, I want to say. So
how is DVC like a timeshare? Because I know that you
Yes.
can, because you have points.
you have
right?
points. You have
You
points.
have points. And I've heard of, and next time I want to buy points to
Yes,
upgrade.
and we are going to. So that's going to be another episode topic. We might do that. Can probably be half of an episode topic.
Sure.
But yeah, you buy points. Your membership is so ours with the Riviera is I think 200, 250. Disney, if you're watching this, if you want to drop a couple more points, let me know. But with that being said, we have 200 points, and you can add points for future years. You can bank your points if you don't use them, or you can actually go into the future and grab as many points as you need to fulfill what your itinerary.
Is there a registration fee, membership fee, like a buy-in before?
It's a buy-in. Yeah, it's a buy-in.
You pay a monthly fee.
No, it's a yearly fee.
Okay.
But it's a yearly fee, and it's almost like having a condominium homeowners
Yeah.
fee.
Yep.
But it's a one-time fee to buy it, and then a yearly fee. So
Okay. So if you don't use your points, you lose them.
no, you
Annually.
can bank them.
You can bank them. You said that.
To future
Really
years.
good at listening. We've proven that.
It's all right. So, but that's one of my employees' families got us hooked on it.
Okay.
And thankfully enough, I was able to do that. I went in half with my mom to do it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so we have it until 2070. Hopefully,
Cool.
Disney will be around by then. With all the happenings in the world today, who knows?
The Reedy Creek debacle. But that's a whole nother
Yeah. Since
situation.
Since the Florida congressional leaders and politicians canceled Disney's tax exemption status today.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hope they stay in, because if they don't, out of some money.
Understand that. In South Carolina is a wonderful place to
Yeah.
relocate certain things.
Yes.
There's a lot of it in Spartanburg County.
I'm well aware of Spartanburg County. That's
You are?
one place to possibly relocate. But
That would be
but
interesting.
to give everybody a little glimpse of what the future we're going to be talking about attractions, which ones we still wish were there, which ones we don't wish ever came about. Abbott's going to divulge into the Disney races, the Princess Marathons, all the fun races and runs that they have.
All the Run Disney. Run Disney.
Yeah, Run Disney.
I got to experience my first one. It was on a kind of fly by the seat of your pants type situation. Last second kind of trigger. We signed up for it 3 weeks after we went to Disney back in November. We said we want to go back. Em and I were driving back from dinner from Greenville with her folks, and we went, Kids were all kind of hanging out in the back. Two out of the three were sleeping. And I said, we had such a good time. I want to go back. She goes, I do too. I said, we've always talked about doing a race. And like I said, the Disney Princess one sold out. The marathon sold out in no time. And there's a whole thing with that I'll get into, which is interesting because I'm sure there are plenty of people that would argue and have some contention in regards to what went down
Yeah.
with registering for that race. I assume you may know, and if you don't, that's okay. But
You're gonna fill me in.
I will fill you in.
Yeah.
But that we did the Tower of Terror 10 miler, and words can describe how it went, but yeah, like I said, we will hold on. That is, I mean, I'll tell you something. I feel so good about the way I built that up. That's such a cliffhanger right there.
That is
That's gonna want everybody to just want to tune in.
like we might
Right.
actually have like 25 people listening to that one.
That's a win.
That's a big win.
That's amazing.
That could be sponsorship quality. Right?
I mean, I'm ready to sponsor.
I mean, I think a good sponsor might be Buc-ee's since that's on the way.
Oh man, I just finished my last bag of Buc-ee's beaver nuggets last night.
Ooh,
I hoard those. I'm completely fresh out, but the closest Buc-ee's to me is opening May 16th
where?
in good old Florence, South Carolina.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
South Carolina is getting 2 Buc-ee's. I'm gonna have one only 45 minutes down, about an hour down the road from me in Anderson.
Wow.
Yep, that's another year down the road. But
Wow.
I'm from, I hate, but now I can say I love to admit I'm from Sumter, which is only 30, 40 minutes away from Florence, right there at I-20 and 95 where they meet. That's where they're doing the Buc-ee's. So you'll have a chance to hit up Buc-ee's in South Carolina.
Yes,
If you're
that's
heading
true.
down 95,
That's
hitting
true.
95 south or north.
Yeah.
That's right.
So some other things we're gonna be talking about: the different hotels, the different tiers of the hotels, because every hotel is not the same.
No.
What you can do there, the experiences, also the best. I know I've already said the best attractions, but best rides in Disney, the tiers of rides, best roller coasters, and we got to talk about food. Best food in Disney, Disney Springs, downtown Disney, what used to be.
Yep.
What Walt Disney would think about the state of Disney World and Disneyland and just Disney in general today. I think that would be a I don't know how
Very, that's going to be a 110% subjective
yes
discussion there.
yeah
That's going to be based on perspective. And for me, I can make an assumption, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I would have to do a little more research
yeah me too
about in regards to that.
yeah
So
and then I'll fill everybody in on DVC memberships, and I might get my concierge guy for the DVC to also join us on Zoom.
oh wow.
If you can get your travel agent friend to join us maybe one
Yeah,
time.
Anna, yeah, that'd be, yeah, she could,
Yeah.
I could set that up. Yeah.
And then
Anna, you ready to go? Well, actually, I've got that set up now if you're ready. Anna, if you want, just kidding. No. Stupid. No, there's one thing that this is, I mean, something I'm learning more about. I watched a video on it. There's a YouTuber called Paging Mr. Morrow. I don't know if you've heard of him. I got to meet him during
No,
my
you
race.
didn't.
Yeah, saw him on the run. Yeah, 100%. I have and my wife can verify it because we watched his videos leading
Yeah.
up to it, and I watched his latest one where the Disney meet and greets
Yeah.
this afternoon. I watched that one, and I like his videos. They're only like 15, 20 minutes in length.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 a week, so they're just enough and not, and not too much where it's, overbearing and it satiates your motivation for YouTube, Disney, whatever, or vloggers, so to speak. But yeah, we were doing the run, and it was like in between. We had just run through Hollywood Studios, headed back to Epcot, and I was going up. We were going up one of the exit ramps, running up the exit ramp. And yeah, lo and behold, I looked over to my right. He had teased that he was doing the race. He did the Disney Expo, the Wide World of Sports.
Right.
And I saw his video before the that Thursday, you could start registering. We were going the next day, or leaving that Saturday,
Right.
April 1st. And yeah, I saw him towards like 3/4, and he started way because I think he power walked it. I ran it very slow pace, but yeah, I passed him and I yelled to him, and he looked at me like, "Who the H are you?"
Yeah.
Pardon me, "Who the hell are you? And why are you looking at me?" He still was nice. He was just kind of, "Oh yeah." He kind of like, he didn't articulate any words, just kind of went, "Oh yeah," like that.
Sure.
And
Maybe
yeah,
we can get him on.
that would be a tall order. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. But anyway, my thing was the I don't know, they have DDC exclusive after hours events. And I
Yes.
watched one of Paging Mr. Mara or Nathan's videos on the after hours experience at Epcot and those rare character meet and greets,
Yes.
where it stays open for like an extra 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And that's something, I don't know if you're taking advantage of that or plan to do that.
We have not yet. And I'll that's another thing. How many miles do you talk or walk in a day at Disney? Because the last time we went in January, we tried to do everything, and I think we got everything except for maybe 5-6 rides in the entire 4 parks.
Oh, wow.
But with that being said, we're the next when we go in September, we're going and it's gonna be a leisure trip. We'll hit a park one day.
Yeah.
We'll take off a day and do that, but there are a couple different avenues of perks for DVC members and annual pass members. I'm an annual pass member as well as my wife, my mom.
Yeah.
And there are perks, there are pros, there are cons to everything, and
Yeah.
I will get into that when we have that episode. But also, want to know, who do you think the best Disney CEO is? Tough question. I have to research a little bit. I know who is on the bottom of my list right now, but that's also subjective. But also, we'll have some special guests here and there. Might have some celebrities on, if I can coax them on into joining the podcast. And also, I'm a big memorabilia guy, so I have a bunch of Disney memorabilias and props and stuff like that. So we might talk about that one time. My new office that I'm opening up here in the next couple months will be nothing but Disney themed 100%, which is going to be cool. So I might start doing the podcast from there.
Oh, wow.
Have a cool little background. Since you have the Gamecock and I have a window right now.
You have a lovely window, and I can
yeah, thank you.
See the dark, pitch black dark, because everything I have is somewhat Disney themed. If you fear the chicken or have heard of Jade on Clowning,
it's the same chicken from Moana.
Yeah, so fear the chicken or slash hashtag hey fear the chicken, whatever. So, but that being said, yes.
But yeah, so I think that's it for the first podcast, first episode.
I think so, but you're kind of queuing me up to want to talk about a lot more, but that's for another episode. That's for people to to go, oh, what, are you kidding me? You're stopping now?
Yeah,
you're wrapping it up now, but sorry, I mean, we have what the people want and we want to give it to you.
Exactly. But, and we're going to try to keep the podcast about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to
give or take 10-15 minets over.
Sure. We usually spend the first hour and a half ahead of time going check, test mic,
check.
Mic 1 2, hot mic,
exactly.
Hot mic. Yep. And I do
for those that I've listened to podcasts and stuff, and people say, "Oh my gosh, voices are terrible, and your equipment is terrible." Well,
sure.
This is our first time.
Yep.
Cut us some slack, and we're not professionals. We're just having
fun. One is you could actually qualify yours as semi-professional. Mine is pseudo-professional.
Yeah.
100%, because I just have a laptop in front of me and my speakers are built into the screen that I'm looking at, and yours, you literally have like a rocket ship for a for a microphone. So yeah, that's the real deal right there.
Yeah.
Amazon
So,
special.
but we are the Disney dudes, and I
Yeah.
hope you all have enjoyed the podcast.
we we are the double D for the specifically for Disney. So
Yeah,
you're welcome.
that's
Hey,
true.
look at that. You think of new stuff all the time, and that's probably going to get axed in the next 30 seconds. So that's okay. I,
All right,
I,
see
I
ya.
wanted to play off the whole double D thing, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
we might talk about that with the state of Disney. So
We'll see.
yeah,
But I will say, last thing is, I would say an episode that I want to propose and something we should take a look at is what is your Disney bucket list?
yes,
What is your Disney? And that could be it's open ended,
yeah,
completely open ended. I know exactly what mine is, and I decided that the beginning of the week, and it may take me the rest of my life, and that's okay with me. But what is your Disney bucket list? And it could be certain rides, or Disneyland Paris, or Disney Sea in Tokyo, or it just kind of,
Yeah.
or Disneyland, because I've only
That's
gone to Disneyland. I've never been to Disneyland.
that's a really, really good one.
Or if there's a ride you've never, or like going to Be Our Guest, that could be a bucket list thing, or Cinderella's Royal Table,
Yeah.
that. I mean, whatever. So I mean, it's all contingent to the person, but I know what mine is. Can't speak for you, but yeah.
Yes. And I'll also tell you this. We're planning on doing, and I know I said this is Disney dudes and we're out, but off on another tangent.
Yeah.
Possibly doing the VIP experience in September. So
Ooh.
that would be kind of cool. So I will touch on that a little bit too. But
Okay.
other than that, we are the Disney dudes.
We are.
And
I'm Abbott.
I'm Taylor.
We're gonna go in alphabetical order. Yeah. So we'll
That's
try it
true.
again. I'm
That's
Abbott.
fine.
Yeah.
What?
I'm Abbott.
I'm Taylor.
And we're the.
Disney dudes.
You got it.